Got the old Jeep a little muddy. That's okay though, that's what she's made for. Hang tight guys, we'll get this video going for you. All right y'all, let's talk about what's going on today. Let me get into my pack here. For y'all that want to know what kind of pack this is, see if I can find the logo. This is a Kelty Strike 2300. I don't know where the Strike 2300 on it, but it's 2300 pack. It's about 250 bucks, I guess. I don't know. I don't use it much because I don't want to tear the son of a bitch up. I use military surplus, but hadn't worn it in a while, so why not? So what we got going on today, guys, is we're out here in the middle of the woods, middle of nowhere, and we're going to be putting out a survival cache. We're going to be hiding some things out here in this environment at random places that only I know where it's at, or somebody that I want to know where it is or where it's at. So I'm going to talk a little bit about kind of how I do this stuff, how you can do this stuff and make it where it's impossible to be found, whatever it is. So we'll talk more about that as we go. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to break up my topo map. I know where I'm sitting right here. Got my compass. And what I'm going to be looking for is a creek or a natural spring in the vicinity of a given coordinate. I'm going to find the coordinate for what I'm seeing on the map here, and then I'm going to go to it. When I get there, I'm going to look at the environment, see if that's where I want to put what I'm doing, what I'm putting out, and then we'll talk more about that when I get there. But for right now, what's going to happen is I got to lay this dude out and start looking at topo map, features, terrain features from where I'm at right here. This is a known location. This is a dead-end road that I'm on. Let's see if I can turn this dude around this way. The sun is killing me. So this is a dead-end road. Let me turn this around so you guys can see, get a little closer maybe. So dead-end road, and it dead ends into nothing. It dead ends into some privately owned property. Obviously, I'm not going to get on that, but there's public properties around here. I have property here. So we're operating on about, I would say, 800 acres or so, give or take a little. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my location on this map. All right, there we go. So I've got my location. So what I need to do from here is I'm looking at these terrain features. I can see creeks on here, and I can see the draws. I can see where the elevation's running downhill, draws coming in between ridge lines and things like that. But I'm seeing pretty good deep stuff in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave here on foot, and I'm going to go check this out. I've got a creek to the north of here, and this road is running east and west. So I've got a creek to the north, and I've got an elevation drop running from south to north. But I've got some really deep draws right in here, and I'm going to guarantee you those are natural springs in there that are feeding this creek. So I'm going to leave here on foot, and I'm going to go check that out. Before I do that, though, I'm going to get the coordinate to where I want to go. So I'm not going to bore you guys with that today. This is not a land nav class, but I'm going to get the coordinate here before I take off, and we'll get going. And when we get there, we'll talk some more about what's happening. But that's what I'm doing today. I am putting out caches, different things that may be used in an emergency. Insert your favorite scenario here. So give me a few minutes, guys. Let me get my coordinates. Let me get going. We'll get some more footage, and then we'll talk when we get down there. Stay tuned. All right, y'all, I'm in here. Probably a half mile from the trail, I guess. Right there, if we look close, we got the water coming up out of the ground. We do have rain runoff that's funneling down through here, but the actual source where it makes contact with the air and the surface is right here. You can see the elevation continues to climb right up here, but this is the source of this little creek, and it'll go on down. I know which creek it feeds into, but keeps on flowing down. So let me get this camera turned around. We'll talk some more about what's going on. All right, y'all, let's talk about this just a minute. I know where I'm at. I know the coordinates to where I'm at. I know the coordinates to where my Jeep is. I know the path I took in here. So that being said, let me get this pack off real quick. So got a notepad with a pencil that I'm keeping track of these coordinates, the real coordinates. We're going to talk about why I say real coordinates when I finish doing what I'm doing. We'll get back out of here before we do that. Now we have Pelican case, a waterproof Pelican case. It's going to go inside of this other, I've got this black bag and then a gallon freezer bag. This is completely waterproof. This will stay waterproof for years and years and years out here, but I am going to seal it off with some other bags to make sure that it, you know, no seepage or whatever. So why am I here at this creek, or this spring that's feeding this creek right down here? Well, number one, it's water. Number two, it's a landmark that's easy for me to find the exact location of, with or without coordinates. Next thing would be logging operations. These things are protected from logging operations. They have to stop so many feet of waterways and things like that, so they can't be running their machinery in here and tearing up stuff near this water source. Multiple reasons. So I know the location of the Jeep, the intersection of the trail. I know the coordinates and the location of where I'm at, where the source of this spring is at. So now comes time to bury this cache. Now, what's in this cache, none of your fucking business. But it can be whatever you want it to be, guys. I say none of your fucking business with all the love in the world, I promise you, but I'm not gonna say what's in there, man. And I'm not even gonna talk about these real coordinates. We'll talk about kind of these coordinates when we get back up here. But I have my Gerber U.S. military folding shovel. So what I'm gonna do is, from this exact location, I'm gonna move out of here on foot. I'm not gonna worry about a coordinate. I know what I'm gonna do. I will explain how that works when we get back out of here. But I'm gonna leave the position of this last known coordinate at the source of this stream, and then I'm going to go bury this cache somewhere. Oop. Probably be a good idea if I lock that shovel down first, wouldn't it, before I bust my ass. But that's okay. So I'm gonna go bury this cache, pack our stuff up, and get out of here. When we get back up to the Jeep right there, we'll talk about what's going on. So y'all stick tight. Here we go. All right, y'all. So just writing down the compass azimuth, some distance. Got distance in paces, compass azimuth, or a back azimuth from where I was. If you guys will look right here, I'm at the mouth of this stream, or this spring that feeds this creek right down here, but little shelf right up here, along that little ridge right there. So we got water runoff coming from this direction and from over here, but this is kind of high and dry up here. A little higher elevation on beyond that. That's as far as I need to go. Okay, that's some random fucking point that's referenced from the mouth of this, or from the source of this. Good luck finding that shit. I mean, you can find this point all day long. You can find the road intersection all day long. You can find anything you want to all day long. But when you just randomly leave a point and go X number of meters in X azimuth, good luck with that. Nobody's ever going to find that. So we're going to talk more about this and what I did right up here when we get back out to the Jeep. So I'm going to pack my stuff up here, get out of here, and then we'll talk again. Hang tight, guys. All right, y'all, we're back to the Jeep. Bear with me just a moment, please. A little pinch before we have this talk here. Two pinches, why not? All right, guys, let me get this pack on. Let's talk about this. I went my carpenter's pencil, that's okay. All right. So, we left this location, proceeded down the trail on foot. This is an intersection of the trail. Proceeded in this direction on foot. Left this trail in a northerly direction, terrain associating, heading down to a natural spring. I know where there's a creek, like I said earlier in this video. I know there's one north of here flowing east and west, just like this main road, but it's getting fed from somewhere. So several springs in here, several natural springs coming up out of the ground down in here feeding this dude. But set an azimuth, took off in that general direction, located the water source, and then traveled upstream or up to the source of the water where it's coming out of the ground. Made note of my coordinates, both here where the vehicle's at, or this intersection, and the mouth of that or the source of that natural spring that's feeding this creek. Not too far to that creek, but from there went up onto a shelf that I know is not going to be saturated in water, but is yet still close enough to the creek to be protected from logging operations and things like that. So that's just the spot I picked. You can do whatever you want to when you're doing this stuff. Now the box, what's in the box, like I said, I'm not going to talk about that. It's not a big deal. Obviously, for sure, damn sure, nothing illegal, but you can put whatever you want to in there, whether it's food, maybe a radio that just needs a battery put on it that you bring in when you get it, maybe ammunition, maybe medical supplies, Mylar space blankets and things in there to stay warm, maybe fire making supplies, water treatment supplies, compass, maps. It can be anything you want, whatever you need. Everybody's case is different. You know, everybody's situation and thought process is different. So I want you to think for a minute. Maybe it's not doomsday and the end of the world. A lot of people's minds like to go to that automatically. Oh, the economy's going to collapse and everything's all screwed up and we're all going to die and the Civil War and all this stuff. Myself personally, I don't buy into that. So if I did, I wouldn't tell you. But either way, let's say I'm out here deer hunting sometime. I fall out of a deer stand, or I break an ankle, break a leg, get myself injured. Maybe that's a first aid kit within 50 meters of a deer blind or a deer stand I've got. Maybe I don't put it in the deer stand because I don't want it stolen. I mean, the possibilities are endless. You can use this stuff for whatever your brain can create. I'm just showing you the methods to do it where nobody else can find it. All right. So just for argument's sake, let's say I have my coordinates. These are fake, by the way, so I'm just going to make this up for you. Let's say the coordinates at the source of that spring down here are, okay, so before I go any further, this is Military Grid Reference System, MGRS coordinates. This is a 4-digit easting, 4-digit northing. It's an 8-digit call that'll give you 10-meter accuracy, okay? If I can get within 10 meters of the source of that spring, I'm there, dude. So let's say their coordinate looks like this, 36, 41, 15, 12. Hypothetically, for now purposes of this discussion, let's say that's the actual coordinate. Now, let's say my cache is hidden 15 meters from this coordinate on an 86-degree azimuth. I shot a back azimuth from where I buried the thing back to the source of the mouth, so 180 degrees off. But let's say it's 86 degrees from the source of that spring, 15 meters distance, and there's my cache. What do you think the chances are of somebody finding that? Big fat goose egg, just some random person. Any sign of me being in there on foot in this part of the country with as much rain and wind and the weather being what it is, any sign of me being in there will be gone within probably a couple of weeks, max. I mean, a good tracker can find me probably out to a month or more, but ain't none of them here. I'm the only guy around. So, that being said, what is the weak link in this? The weak link is having this on paper for you to remember. What happens if somebody finds this? Let's say I have 10 of these or 20 of these out here. All over the place. Not right here, obviously, but all over. Anywhere in a 3-county radius. Let's say I have 20 of these. Somebody finds my list. My list is compromised. Well, if I leave it in this format, by process of elimination, anybody that knows halfway what they're doing with land navigation probably could find it. Metal detectors, I mean, they can find it just by walking, digging. There you go. So it means something. So for me personally, I want to make this where only I understand it. Unless I choose to let somebody else understand it, and then I'll explain that to them. And in the event I can't get what I need, they can go do it. So if it were me, I'm gonna do something like this. So this is at my house, or this is in my pack and I drop it, or somebody finds it, or insert your favorite scenario here, somebody steals this, whatever the case may be. Use your imagination. I'm sure there's plenty of options out there for most folks. So what I would do for my record keeping is I'm gonna show a 68-degree azimuth, just a reverse of this, 3-5. It signifies 15. I don't even put meters on there, don't care. Don't want nobody to know it. Then I'm gonna invert or switch around the first two numbers of the coordinate, 1241, 3612, yeah, 3612, which is different than this. Easting and northing is off, and then I'm going to add 2 dummy numbers on the end. These mean nothing. This is what I'm after. So 6 months later, when I forget where all this stuff is, or if I can't find it by terrain association or just from memory, then I know simply to switch that, multiply that, switch the first 2 numbers of each coordinate, or each easting and northing call, switch them around, and I'm right back to here. So that's a way that if you got 20 of these on a piece of paper and somebody looks at this, if you want to get real cool with it, you could do like this. And put the whole thing in one big number series. I know what that means. Anybody else I want to know what it means will know what it means. But to the random person that finds this or steals this, or this becomes compromised for whatever reason, No way in the hell anybody is going to be able to decipher this and tell what that is. So that's just a little tip for you guys that do this stuff, or you have an interest in this kind of stuff. There again, I don't buy into all the hype out here on the YouTube and into the world and all this shit. But anyway, that's how you could do it, should you choose to do it. So there you go, guys. Y'all stay safe. Take care. If you got any questions, shoot me a message, give me a call. And like they all like to say on the YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, share the video, like the video, and I'll like you back. God bless y'all. Stay safe.